Finally, the South African rand firmed on Wednesday, trading at 17.80 to the dollar, up 0.5%, as a weaker greenback followed disappointing U.S. jobs data. Markets remain cautious ahead of Washington's tariff decision, with South Africa facing a potential 30% duty on exports to the U.S., the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. Meanwhile, the JSE's top 40 index rose 0.5% and the all-share gained 0.4%. Investors are also watching for President Trump's next Federal Reserve appointments. Stock market analyst Mishima Gama shares more on today's performance.
So this week's major focus for the country is whether it can negotiate better trade pacts with the US, because as it stands, we could still be slapped with a 30% tariff imposition on all goods that are exported to the US. And bear in mind, this is the highest rate among sub-Saharan countries. Right now, all currencies are trading pretty much flat, and this is because it seems investors are holding off on making really big bets ahead of US President Donald Trump's decision on appointments in the Fed Reserve. But what is important that's going to happen tonight at 8 o'clock is that Susan Collins, who is the president of the Fed, she's going to be speaking tonight, and what the market is anticipating, besides her stance on US inflation as well as labor indicators, which are important for our markets as well because it affects the dollar, which in turn affects the movement of the rand. What we're anticipating is to hear what her tone is with regard to geopolitical risks, trade tensions, and just implications on policies. Just so that you know, the Reserve Bank, our South African Reserve Bank, has actually stated that this imposition could cost the country 100,000 jobs, particularly in the automotive and agricultural industry. And besides that, it may even shave off 0.2% of our GDP growth unless these exports are taken elsewhere. We've seen the rand over the past few days strengthen quite significantly from levels at 1835 rather to 1777, currently trading there. And this is primarily because of dollar weakness. Let's see what happens when Collins speaks tonight, because if she gives us more of a dovish stance, then we're likely to see the dollar get out of its weakness and back into strength. And this will then ultimately mean that the rand will then move from being strong into weakness. But if she utters any word of US, interest rates being cut, which is an important indicator in the US, then we're likely to see that dollar plummet. It could weaken quite significantly, meaning that the rand could then also strengthen quite significantly from current levels. We could actually see it go to levels it last tested in July actually, at around 1750 or even maybe 1730. So let's see what happens around 8 o'clock and what the news are from her.